唔好意思，我而家係試做緊直播啦。咁我喺紐約，呢個係我知道。即係我而家喺紐約咧，呢邊係唯一一個六四紀念館啦。咁聽日咧開幕之前嘅新聞會一陣間開始，咁我一陣間睇下啲嘉賓咧，咁我要做到啲訪問俾大家。有外國唔少嘅記者而家喺度㗎啦。咁唔方便，有啲人唔方便，咁佢哋嘅義工啦，有啲係義工啊，唔係幾方便，唔方便影到佢哋咧。咁我就一陣間可能淨係遮個鏡頭啊。咁有陣時嘅鏡頭會高啲啦，唔想影到佢哋嘅義工啊嚇。臨時開個直播嚟嘅。係。咁我帶大家去睇睇呢度嘅地方睇睇啦。其實咧呢邊咧同香港嗰邊係完全唔同嘅。咁我哋香港之前有油麻地嗰間咧，就展出嗰啲六四嗰邊嘅展覽品，或者過去時間大家紀念六四嗰啲宣傳品啦。咁同呢邊係完全唔同嘅。但係咧，六四親歷者咧就去到現場。咁頭先咧我就見到王丹有同佢做訪問，簡短嘅訪問。我哋睇睇呢邊咧就香港話香港加油啊！咁睇睇呢邊展出啲乜嘢咧？咁過去30幾年、32年，咁香港人對六四嘅悼念啊，咁佢哋你睇下嗰個，包括埋我哋運動期間所使用嘅黃遮啦、頭盔啦，呢度都有展出嘅。咁大家有呢度係熒光幕咧，就放咗過去大家即係六四啊，或者7啦，或者19年呢一場運動，香港人喺運動當中所做嘅遊行啊、示威啊、抗議啊，同埋發生嗰啲大家唔能夠忘記嘅事情啦。721、831呢度都有展示嘅。俾大家兜個圈睇睇。即係呢度係其中一間房咧，展示全部都係香港呢一場運動咁樣抗爭嘅宣傳品。咁又呢幅畫咧，就過去30幾年香港人悼念六四燭光晚會，年年六四夜晚喺維園啦，燭光晚會嘅情況啦，圖片都有即係1990年啦。咁樣到2019過去30年，咁俾大家睇一睇啊。可能入邊分分鐘都有大家自己嘅身影喺入邊喎。咁去到睇下13年，你睇下13年嘅情況係點啦？19年就更加多人出嚟，係咪上街啦？14年嘅雨傘運動呢度都有，14年嘅雨傘運動，咁俾大家近啲俾大家睇。因為呢邊離地，即係香港時間已經凌晨㗎啦，可能唔多人喺現場睇啊。咁到時等大家翻睇啦。咁我哋嗰陣時嗰啲文宣標誌都有。咁再睇睇呢邊啦，19年呢場運動佢都有晒記錄喺度嘅。咁俾大家睇睇個頭盔啊。咁有幾個日子大家都知啦，6月9號、612、615、616，就好多日子呢度都有記錄。 咁留呢邊睇啊。咁再睇睇呢邊。等先，我哋出翻嚟再出翻嚟睇睇呢邊。
Fresh, it's like old friend reunited again after being lost.
咁我門口寫住乜嘢？香港人走過嘅抗爭路，咁由89、64到反送中，咁咧就係話89年1989到2019嘛，過去嘅時間大家咁都有呢一張，大家好唔陌生嘅，睇睇呢個哦。周先生，我可以给你做访问，我在做直播，我是那个希望之声，我自己是香港来的。啊，对，就完了吗？完了之后，
我简单跟你说一下。
对，那我这个可以放在你身上吗？对
OK，
我们请周先生跟我们讲一讲这边的环境。
好的那谢谢你这里面是几个学校的旗帜那个时候天安门广场最重要的几个形象一个就是民主女神像，还有就是无数的旗帜。当时在中国在
我先跟大家介绍一下周封锁先生，您介绍自己就是亲历的那个89。
对，我当时是清华大学的学生，我是北高联的常委所以这个旗帜呢是很多学校，但是在这里的都是全国各地其他地方来的所以恰好我们有一个西北大学，有东南大学，其实这个就是可以意味着那个时候基本上全中国的所有的高校绝大部分都参加了这个抗议活动。那么这个里边最珍贵的是上边这个旗帜，它是有血迹的，这个血迹是当时在天安门广场撤退的时候用来包扎一个受伤的人身上的血的。
上边那个血迹就是学生的血。
对，
你有没有什么跟香港人？你这边完了吗？因为我很想让你跟，就是看香港今年没有。
是，对，谢谢你
但是这个词又成为禁。
对，我就是我这个地方呢，我们是专门给香港留着的那么从香港30年的六四纪念到雨伞运动到反送中都有，而且中间还有讨论，就是关于89民运和这些运动的关系对于香港人我们充满了感激，所以未来呢我们也一直会很关注香港人的抗争，包括现在在狱中的支联会的朋友像黎智英李卓人何俊仁周幸彤还有梁国雄这些他们都是我们可敬的朋友，还有像黄之锋这样的年轻人我们一定不会让他们被遗忘我们在这里要为他们发出声音谢谢。
您觉得89年就是中国的这场民运对香港2019年这场运动其实是不是一种启发？
当然特别是经过30年的维园的烛光纪念，那么在2019年我们看到的很多地方都和89年非常类似，这里边有一个展览也專門講這個問題。好，謝謝。
好，謝謝你謝謝。咁我哋一陣間差唔多開始要直播啦，但係咧我都喺空中記者咧就唔怕咧，就可以影到佢哋，但係佢哋義工咧就盡量唔影啦。原來呢邊咧就好多，我都頭先都唔知點解即係咁多大學嘅牌喺度咧，係因為呢都差唔多全國嘅地嘅大學咧，全部都參與其中嘅，就89、64嗰場運動。咁上邊咧，你睇血跡斑斑咧，就係因為得辭退嗰陣時咧，當時學生嘅鮮血。咁再俾大家睇睇下邊嘅情況，下邊嘅展覽大多數都係文字圖畫
This is Jim Estrin from the New York Times. I want to introduce you.
So nice to meet you.
I don't have my card on me. Sorry.
Do you have your card?
Sorry.
So what you can text me if you want. I can give you the phone number.
Okay, please.
咁俾大家睇睇，呢度有寫期啦。
4185. And my name. Oh, you're calling me. That's right. And my name is Mike.
Thank you for coming.
Oh, my pleasure. Thank you for having me on the show. For us, this is a tremendous day. We have been preparing
呢
for
個係
this
深圳大學。
Many days, years.
Do you want to send me a message with your spelling of your name?
Yes.
咁大家嚟唔到呢度咧，就我帶大家睇睇呢邊嘅前房係展覽啊。
So much. And can we identify you as the curator of the exhibit? Okay. One of the curators?
I think I have. No.
係啊，呢邊仲有啲展覽，都係文字多。
Okay, fantastic. Fantastic.
And I have another job as the executive director of Human Rights in China.
Oh, I see. Yeah, fantastic. Thank you so much. It's interesting, very interesting.
If you want, I can tell you.
Yes, if you wouldn't mind telling me, if you wouldn't mind if I shoot some pictures.
Of course, please. Yeah. So this flag carried with it 92 signatures collected on May 18th. This was the most amazing capture.
咁影佢哋人咧，我就夜過佢哋人影空中啊。
Sadly, Banker China. And it has signatures from college students, doctors, journalists, even policemen.
即係唔少媒體都有嚟。
Here, this one says Beijing police admire.
差唔多時間啦，咁都係差唔多時間啦。係啊，當時佢哋喺天安門廣場咧就話絕食啦。咁呢度一篇報道咧就話咧，89年5月19號嗰陣時一篇報道，咁青年報佢就寫媽媽我們我大喺唔下。
That's a big risk.
Yeah, but at that time there was such unity. It's not like now.
都係當年個報紙都報道呢件事。
Now you at that moment,
咁我度準備差唔多佢哋做咗直播啦，佢哋做咗開始啦。
And here, this one it says 南北一家东西一心。
Excuse me. Sorry. 係啊，咁我呢個腳架咧喺人群當中咧都冇定期喎，咁都係睇下大家一陣間咧，佢有幾個嘉賓咧係其實聽日係 grand opening 啦，咁今日咧先有一個新聞會，佢哋會講啲嘢，一陣間我哋聽聽佢哋會講。大家都見到啦，六四親歷者王丹咧，頭先嗰個係遭封鎖嚟嘅，佢都係當時六四嘅親歷者，佢清華大學嘅。
It's on the fourth floor of. $894. 6,000. Okay, I already interviewed Dan Wang, so we should be good. Yeah, I can
咁大家聽到我講嘢
yourself.
Would you please help me to put it on the seat?
Mic check, mic check, mic check, mic check. 1 2 1 2. Mic check today. Everyone, mic check, mic check. 1 2 1 2 1 2 3. 1 2. Okay. Everyone good? Okay, sure. All right. Everyone, mic check. Mic check. 1 2 1 2. Microphone check. 1 2 3 1 2 3. Is everyone good? All right, cool.
Is there a camera house here? Anyone is filming for the house?
唔好意思啊，我哋等一等啊，盡量開始咯，2點鐘開始。因為咧頭先開咗直播，驚到時趕唔切。咁都係順便帶大家睇睇嗰個唔同嘅房間展出啲嘢，跟住再請佢哋同我哋傾下偈就咁。
Sorry, just give me a space for I can put my laptop. Push this. Can I push a little bit? This is me, right? Okay.
You're Dan Lang?
Yes. 哎，这椅子有点坏。Sorry, RF.你要过来是吧？怎么不是？我怎么过来？We'll start at 2 p.m. So more patient, please.
Are you guys going to be streaming that online?
Yeah,
Yeah, perfect.
if you go to our Twitter, we have June 4th Museum Twitter. Google it.
This is the person here. Maybe, excuse me, ma'am. Excuse me. Is there any chance you could sit somewhere?
Oh,
Beside-
well, the seat.
Like maybe here.
Oh, that.
我们就 很多事情我们就先每个人先发言。OK。这样我先开个导。
那个公子啊，你离立群近，要不你给他翻译，我这样要不然我不方便。不要紧。抱歉。
2 more minutes. One more minute. Thank you.
还没开启，可以问一个很轻松的。
Okay, it's time to start. Hello, everyone. Thank you for coming. The reason why this memorial exhibition is here because the Hong Kong June 4th Museum was forcibly closed by the Chinese Communist Party in September 2021. The CCP's intention is very clear: to cover up history and make the world forget the crimes they committed. They want to make everybody forget that they are a regime built on violence and lies. As participants, survivors, and witnesses of the 1989 democratic movement, we have the obligation and responsibility to establish this memorial exhibition, to uphold the truth of history, and counter the CCP's attempt to erase historical memory. That is why we have decided to establish this permanent exhibition. The establishment of this exhibition holds, at least my personal opinion, 5 significant meanings as follows. 1, I think it's essential to understand this important historical event in order to have deeper understanding of China today. The year 1989 was the most important turning point in modern Chinese history. China, before and after 1989, represented 2 completely different countries and societies. 2, the courage, passion, and ideals displayed during that period of 1989 democracy movement are the most precious spiritual legacy of a nation. Without these legacies, China would not have been able to change. 3, the sacrifice made by those who lost their lives for the future of their nation should never be forgotten from a moral standpoint. 4, as the government is determined to cover up the truth, opposing the communist regime means countering their actions. This including restoring history, which is an act of resistance. 5, the event of June 4th are still a sensitive topic in China today, representing a potential political force. It's very crucial to maintain this force for the change potentially will happen in the future. That's the significance, meaning of this permanent exhibition. In summary, we commemorate June 4th, not only for ourselves, but for China, not only for the past, but for the future. Before answering your questions, let me introduce the attendees who are here with me today as members of a preparatory committee. Over the past years, we have been holding bi-weekly meetings to advance the preparation for the memorial exhibition. First, Mr. Yu Dahai, you can also call him David, who will officially assume the position of the director of the exhibition, starting from tomorrow. Mr. Yu has been the most important leader over the past year for prepare this exhibition, and no one can compare to the effort he has put into establishing this exhibition. Mr. Zhou Fengshuo, a student representative in 1989 democratic movement, was wanted by the CCP along with me. He has been dedicated to preserving the memory and history of June 4th for many, many years. Mr. Jinghua Lü represents the countless Chinese people, especially the citizens of Beijing. He was living in Beijing at that time, who provided tremendous support to us students during the 1989 movement. They were an important group within the democracy movement. Mr. Liu Jinghua represents them. We must remember the democratic movement of 1989 was not only limited to Beijing alone. Many students and citizens from other provinces and cities outside Beijing also joined the pursuit of freedom. Mr. Jin Yan, a student studying in Nanjing at that time, and Mrs. Chen Lichun, who organized the democratic movement in Zhejiang province, represent them. Each member of our entire committee is a representative and has a deep understanding of the preparatory work. Now I would like to invite each of them to briefly share their thoughts, and then we will open floor for questions. Please.
Thank you very much, Wang Dan, for your kind words. Welcome. 各位朋友，欢迎大家参加今天的六四纪念馆开幕记者会。因为大部分记者呢不懂中文，所以我们基本上是用英文来讲。有不方便的地方呢，还请大家多多包涵。I have just 4 things to comment on, and that is the history of this exhibit, this space itself, our finances, and our future plans. If I have any question, I'll be happy to answer later on. First, history. As Wang Dan said, the impetus of this exhibition comes from the shuttering of the June 4th Museum in Hong Kong in 2021. It was Wang Dan who proposed re-establishing a June 4th Museum here in the United States, specifically here in New York City. And we formed a group called the June 4th Memorial Association in late 2021. In 2022, we curated an exhibit in the Victims of Communism Museum in Washington. And so what you see here today is really just an enlarged version of that exhibit. That's the essence of our history. Now the space. As you can see, we're in a nice building in a very convenient location here in Manhattan. This space has about 2,000 square feet, and I'm told, in fact, this is much larger than the Hong Kong Museum. The space is divided into 5 open areas and 6 offices. We're using 4 of the open areas as exhibition galleries, and the last one, the one on the right, we're using as a meeting room. The 6 offices, 3 of them will also be used as galleries. In fact, one of them already has an exhibit on Hong Kong. This is the style of Professor Anna Chang's effort, and the young volunteers who helped her with this exhibit. The other offices, 2 of them, we also would like to use as galleries very soon. Now about finances. We have raised over $500,000 since we started this venture. That sounds like a lot. It really is not. The cost related to this space is over $10,000 a month. Remember, this is Manhattan. This is a really, desirable part of Manhattan too. But the good thing is we don't have much labor costs, and that is because all of us here have worked on this for over a year, worked as unpaid volunteers. We are very happy to do this because we think we're working for a noble cause, and the work itself is a sufficient reward. But for the long-term maintenance of this exhibit, we really need to have a paid staff, and very soon. And so what I'm really trying to say is that we need your help. If you are interested in making a contribution to the exhibit, to our association, I can assure you that your support will be effectively used for the noble cause. And that is, of course, the cause of memorializing the heroic struggle of the Chinese people for democracy. And lastly, I want to say just a few words about the future plan. Tomorrow is the opening ceremony, but the actual opening of the exhibit to the public will be probably later in June, and it will be through an online appointment system. How that works out will work out. Well, we're going to do it by trial and error basis. As you may also have noticed, we don't call this place a museum, even though we're working on a museum project. And that is because there are certain requirements for operating a museum in the state of New York that we have not satisfied. But satisfying those requirements is our goal. And we're hopeful that very soon we'll be operating a bona fide museum, either in this space or somewhere else in New York. Thank you.
Thank you all for coming today to witness this important rebirth of a dream. As you can see from that banner there, what ignited on Tiananmen Square 34 years ago is an unkillable dream, which has been continued by people all over the world, especially people of Hong Kong, who for 30 years carried on the candlelight vigil for Tiananmen memory. We are here because the 9-year-old boy who died, he needs a place. He needs people to know his life. This is a privileged place because of him. We are here because so many people risked so much to preserve every atom that is here. Because there is a hope, no matter what kind of defeat there was and how much struggle we have to go through. This dream lives here, and we are here united, just like 34 years ago on Tiananmen Square. People all over the world witnessed the hope, a hope for a free China. That's why we are here. It lives here. This is just the beginning. I'm sure there are many important witnesses who had collected antiques, artifacts, artwork over all these years. And you will see some tomorrow. more will come. Please, if you have anything that bear witness to what happened 34 years ago, it belongs to the public, and this is a place to show it. Thank you.
Okay. Welcome anybody. My name is Lu Jinghua. When they Zhou Fengzuo talk about, look at this, and the picture at first shot in the 1989, I'm just a normal Chinese woman, a young mama. My daughter is not 11 months. So I joined this Tiananmen Square and supported them, students. Look at the pictures. The hunger strike. They are children. Right now, I have children. I have grandchildren. Then if they hunger strike, what do they want? They want China, the political part, to change. Yes, they talking and they wanted their voice to support us, represent to us. Then I was a young mom to coming to join this team, join the movement to support the students. Why? We want to change China. Now the policy and right. So after almost more than 20 days, the June 4, the coming massacre coming. The Chinese government killed our people, killed our students, killed our citizens. I'm like a young mama, okay? So I come to join the team, join the movement. I don't think I'm the guilty, but the Chinese government wanted me in the blacklist. That is I escaped from China to the Hong Kong. But today, and 34 years, I never forget when they June 4 that day, I will be sad. Whole day I will be sad. Dressed and the blood and dark and eating the vegetable part. And every year we June 4 Memorial that day coming and everybody have a team to Memorial. So far finally we have a good place to show almost all the people, not only Chinese people in the overseas country, and any people all over the world to support the Chinese people to change democrat the system. So then it will be to see, look at this people, where the people, where now the people die in the Tiananmen, in the Chang'an Boulevard, but now they have some part family members still want the Chinese government demand the 3 part. Why they want the 3 part? Only because they lose any right to memorial the died victim people. So right now we show them a picture and we show them exam for the items in the Tiananmen. So now we have a very good place in the New York where beginning. How about more people, how about your people to more publish, to show, and we have what do we do? Yeah, thank you very much.
大家好，我叫陈丽群，我来自中国大陆的浙江。
I am Chen Liqun. I from Zhejiang province.
在34年以前，天安门波澜壮阔的民主运动波及了全中国。
34 years ago, what happened on Tiananmen Square spread it to all corners of China, including my hometown, Hangzhou, Zhejiang.
浙江杭州的朋友们和学生们和市民们没有缺席这一场运动。
Citizens and students of Hangzhou eagerly participate in this great movement for democracy.
在屠杀以后，浙江杭州的朋友们上街游行，拉出了一个横幅：不要杀学生，向我开枪。
After Tiananmen massacre, the people of Hangzhou they put out a slogan that says, "Don't kill the student, you can shoot me."
游行在杭州持续了1个多小时以后，被他们驱散。
They marched for 1 hour before being dispersed forcefully by the police.
有人在1990年统计，在浙江第4监狱判刑超过1年以上的参加六四民主运动的人有45位。
By incomplete statistics, just in one prison, there were 45 political prisoners who were sentenced to over 1 year in prison for their participation in the democratic movement in Hangzhou.
在全国各地各大城市都有很多人参加了这一场运动。
All over China, many people eagerly participated in this great movement.
很多城市有人被判处死刑。
Many people were sentenced to death in many cities.
今天我们在这里建立这个纪念馆。
Today, we have this June 4 massacre memorial exhibition.
我们希望收集到全国各大城市当年参与这场运动的一些实物、一些证据和证人。
We want to collect antiques, artifacts, and evidence of these people who participate in this movement and who were persecuted for what they did.
让这一些证物、证人、证词能够丰满我们这个博物馆。
We want all these artifacts to enrich our collection here.
谢谢大家。
Thank you.
My name is Xin Yan. I'm a student who was at Tiananmen Square back then. For the past 34 years, I have never forgotten that magnificent movement for freedom and democracy in China. Later, I fled to the United States and learned that there is a June 4th Memorial Museum in Hong Kong, which brought me comfort. However, I never expected that after the Chinese Communist Party took back Hong Kong in 1997 and had their intention for a few years, they would eventually show their evil nature and shut down the June 4th Memorial Museum. Looking around the world, there is not a fixed place to commemorate the people who were cruelly killed by the dictatorial government. At that time, Mr. Wang Dan stood up and called for a new June 4th Memorial Museum to be established in the free world. Since this call meets the expectations of all Chinese people who pursue freedom and democracy, we have received a lot of donations from people all over the world. Originally, we hoped to open the museum for the 35th anniversary of June 4th. And unexpectedly, the donation quickly reached the minimum initial goal, which encouraged us to build the museum a year early. The place for this museum is currently leased. But of course, our goal is to establish a permanent museum, which requires the strong support of people around the world who love peace and hate dictatorial system. Let more young people understand the history deliberately concealed and distorted by the Chinese Communist Party. Recognize the dangers of dictatorship, awaken and work together to end this evil system, and look forward to a beautiful future for the world. Thank you, everybody.
Okay, now floor's open for questions. But before you have a question, please let me know which media you come from, and well, I've been interviewed by some of them, so I hope the question is more for other members.
Lotus from 星島日報，英文。
Yeah, okay.
The location here is.
And please, which member you ask?
Okay, the location is here is in the heart of Manhattan, so it's 8946 Avenue 4th floor. I think it's on purpose to pick up this number. So how you do that? So originally, 我有没有解错啊？
Yeah, I understand.
So originally, how you get rid of the
我来回答这个。
你找的时候最常见的方式。
Okay, the number not so far just a match, for maybe the God like you match these numbers, but we are looking for the place, many place, usually some part the owner find out where background will be to the museum for the June 4 and the massacre. They denied us. We almost signed a contract, right? And me and David, we go to the somewhere to looking for many space. So then there's an owner find out where background. We don't know he's the owner's Chinese. So they denied us. We almost signed a check. See, the morning we have appointment, afternoon we have a make a schedule. So the morning just cancel.
So the cancel address is also
The-
96.
No, we match for this number.
That's finished.
Match this number, the reason only we looking for a space, so that's a good view. And then we found out the number is 894 and the 4th floor. That's exactly we want, the place. I know the price is very more expensive. We are on big argue. We big argue. And we still want to cut the price. But anyway, we still gotta. That means all of the world will be good.
So it's
Remember for this
One question
numbers.
enough.
That's it.
Other question?
Yeah.
Hi, my name is Lola and I'm a reporter for the New York Times. I'm wondering if any of the items here in this exhibition are from the museum in Hong Kong that closed in 2021?
No.
And if so, which ones?
No, there isn't any from the museum from Hong Kong. Even though we are so indebted to them, and there are still it's still possible that some of the antiques in Hong Kong Museum are still out there, but we haven't seen them. We hope in the future, if in the free world, they could be displayed here. On the other hand, we did receive 3 boxes of very important information from Hong Kong by someone who isn't identified with the Hong Kong Museum and or the Hong Kong Alliance, the organization that runs the museum. And actually on that gift to us, he wrote, Hong Kong has lost its freedom. Now it's your job to carry on. So for us, that's a very important duty from people of Hong Kong.
Okay. Okay.
Sorry, just a quick follow-up. Could you describe some of what was in those 3 boxes that was gifted?
Some of these were on display in that corner, and there were some very important collections of the newspaper in Hong Kong. Everything that covers the Tiananmen protest from April 16 to about June 15. Very detailed collection. It's like a database just by itself. It's very valuable.
Okay, next question.
So what kind of donations, like artifacts, would you need? Only from China, from Beijing, or from China during those years, or anything that are meaningful, like what we have in here?
Well, the things we like most are items directly related to the 1989 democracy movement. You can see there are 3 flags in that room. One is from the Southeast University, one is from the Northwest University. Unfortunately, we don't have a flag from the middle part of China in Beijing, from Beijing. So that's one thing we really would like. And also things related to the it's a commemoration of the June 4th massacre, and since we still have galleries to fill. In the future, we are hopeful that we can have exhibitions of the Chinese people's struggle for democracy after 1989. So, for example, last year there's this white paper movement, and of course there were many episodes between last year and 1989, artifacts from those struggles. We also hopefully would be able to display some.
Next question.
If there's no more, can I follow up?
Sure. If there,
Hi,
here,
I
please.
went to the Asahi Shimbun of Japan. It's a sort of follow-up question. Could you explain a bit more about where else you got your donations? For instance, the flags, who have them, and how they were donated to the museum?
The money or the
flags.
Flags.
What is on the exhibit?
封锁.
Yeah. So these are my friends, who trusted me, who have worked with me in the last 20 years. I've been working to support political prisoners and the Tiananmen mothers and other people who were persecuted because of their activities in 1989. So there is a network of people out there who share some information. That's how they came to me, because they need to be sure that these items will be kept and preserved, displayed, and they also need to be assured that their identity is protected. That's how I got these.
To the extent that you can tell us who they were, are they people in mainland China, or is it people?
Most of these people are out of China now, but some of the items, they have to go back to China to bring it out, taking some risk with them. So that's how it happened.
Thank you.
Well, even donors, a few of donors come from mainland China. I think that's very important.
Do you have an estimate of how many items are here in this exhibition?
How many?
Well, the items directly related to 1989. On display, we have about 35. We have a lot more, but they are not, like Fengso mentioned, the newspapers from 1989. We could have displayed those newspapers in a whole room or maybe several rooms, but we feel for the time being, we just display the sample in there. Then there are items commemorating the massacre, and we have, I don't know, a couple dozen of those.
We also have not displayed now many pictures and audio, video. That will be next stage. We have a lot more.
Coming. Okay.
I forgot to mention, I'm from China News Digest. My question is there a plan to make a virtual museum online so that anyone who can come across the wall, the file wall, can visit?
Yes, that's one of the things we still need to work on. We're going to introduce this exhibit online. I'm also going to display many pictures we have of 1989. But there are other online resources, so we are going to just be, I guess, one of the a large group of websites showing these places. What is unique about our venture is that we have a physical space here in the middle of Manhattan. As I said, we're not quite a museum yet, but in a different sense, we're much more than a museum, much more than any museum, because this is a symbol of defiance. This is a beacon of hope. You can also say this is the embodiment of a dream shared by millions of people in China, probably hundreds of millions of people in China. And that is the dream of a free and democratic China in our lifetime.
Any other question?
Hi, I'm Marie Consada from NHK. I have a question about the volunteers. We understand that it's very concerned about the privacy, but is there anyone who was born after this Tiananmen, 1999, who doesn't know the situation at the time but still wants to volunteer for this exhibition?
Who will answer this question?
First question I can answer. Most of the volunteers probably born after 1989. They probably knew some before coming here. And, this is where they can really get to know in detail.
We'll have a lot of young generation eager to participate in this job, and I think they're influenced by the memory of what happened in 1999, even though they never participated, but they still have memory. Some high school teachers or other parents, friends already told them what happened in 1999, so they have this pressure, they want to participate.
Hi, I'm from the World Journal. My question is this memorial open to the public visiting in the future? And is there any reservations or some others required?
Oh. Well, as I said, it'll be probably sometime in late June. There will be an online appointment system, and we're hopeful that in the near future we'll have a true museum where people can just walk in. But we're not there yet. We need more preparation, we need more funding, we need more items, suggestions. So it's a lot of work to do, but I think we're getting there.
Sorry, may I follow that? I mean that is there, could it be walk-in or we have to make a reservation?
For now, it's a reservation only, but in the future, we hope people can just walk in.
Sorry.
I'm sorry, before we move on from it, is there some significance to the address and the floor number? I didn't understand that question.
We kind of answered that question before. Yeah.
Is it on
It's by divine providence. We were turned down by our first choice. At the last moment, we didn't know why. It's possible it's politically driven. So that just eventually led us to this location. It's a perfect location for us.
Yeah.
And the address, of course, is what we know.
Let me just add a little bit. As I said, we had this exhibit in Washington, D.C., and that exhibit ran from June of last year to December. And before the end of that exhibition, we started looking for a place here in Manhattan because we thought it would be easier for us to just move the exhibit directly to our space here in Manhattan. So we located we identified a place, but as Jinghua just said, the owner, after paying attention and learning that we are in effect an anti-communist group, the Taiwanese owner refused to have anything to do with us. So it took a while for us to find this place. And I agree with Feng Suo that this is a divine providence in a way, or at least it's an address easy for people to remember. That's a big deal too. I also want to say that the inability to take over the other place is in fact a blessing in disguise, because this is a much nicer location, and on per square foot basis, it's actually a lot cheaper. And the other space, it's still for rent after 6 months. So we're happy to be here. I'm not sure if the owner is happy.
But 8946 doesn't have some special significance in this.
Well, we're not. We don't have the authority to designate street numbers, and we didn't start by looking for a place with these numbers. It's just a happy coincidence. Yes.
It does not. With our presence here. Actually, we have kept this address secret out of caution. So from today on, it can be publicized. Thank you.
Okay.
And just one question, are you guys gonna expand after you raise more funds? Is this what you said? Is this what you're planning?
Yes, we will, yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, yes.
Yeah, can I ask a question? So you said this exhibition is only open to public based on the online reservation. Is that because of the security concern? And my second question is about the future to museum. So do you have any exact goal of like how much money you should raise up for the museum?
Our second stage is we are going to try to collect at least the $1.5 million, or maybe $2 million, as many as possible, that we can buy a space to make it a formal museum and a permanent museum. That's our goal. So we still have a long road to go.
Yes. My name is Yoshinohara from Kyoto News Japanese University. So I have a question for his question. So you said I have a question to Mr. Daly. So you said so in late June. So the people who want to come here, they need the reservation. Is it free to come?
Well, it's free to come, but of course donations are always welcome and badly needed.
So how much money did you get it? I mean the donation. As I know, as I heard, to establish this exhibition, so you have already getting a little bit money. So far, how much did you get it?
Well, we got, as I said, over $500,000, and so we made a big announcement late last year that we got $500,000. So maybe we didn't convey the right message. People thought, oh, you have $500,000, you don't need any more money. That's totally not the case. As I just said, we all work here strictly as volunteers. We have our own jobs and lives. So this is a very admirable situation. It's not a sustainable situation. So for all the potential donors out there, please, we need your help, not for ourselves, but for a noble cause.
Well, at the beginning, in my opinion, I think we must take at least 2 years to collect $500,000 to start this. But surprisingly, for only 8 months, we got enough money. I think this can show how passionate the supporter to try to remember the past.
Yeah, but now we have to remind everyone that this is just beginning. It's not
need more
completion. Yeah. So some people may feel relieved and not giving enough. So we need to do more.
With radio creation. So for young volunteers, can you tell us more about what is the main motivations that encourage these young volunteers to come and help? Like, because they did not experience the massacre by themselves, right?
I think our two generations, we share same values. Put it simple, we hope China can be democratic, and we seek for democracy. Not only 89 generation, but also white paper generation. Most of our volunteers come from white paper generations, but they still have we share same dream. That's why I think that's the reason they want to participate and help us.
Yeah, actually, like one of the young people I met, her parents were very active in 1989. But later they were converted to CCP supporters. But the daughter today is going back to the root again. And she is with us, no matter what the government says or what her parents say. That's the situation.
And some of them, interestingly, they are the second generation of the 89 generation. Their parents participated in 1989 democracy movement in 1989, so they influenced by their parents, so they want, by this influence they want to participate. Called second generation.
Just a clarifying question, when can people begin making reservations? Could someone come on Sunday, or do they have to wait till late June?
Well, the target date is late June. We're not sure. We've been so overwhelmed with the task of making this exhibit. We took over this space less than 3 months ago, so there's a lot of renovation-related, decoration-related things, and then there's the task of setting up the exhibit. So honestly, we haven't got around fine-tuning that appointment system yet. We're going to do that starting next week, and hopefully by late June we'll have a smooth-running operation there.
On that, if anyone can find me on any of my social platforms, feel free to reach out to me. I can be available at the best time for anyone who is really interested.
Also, I have to say this is not only for Chinese people, it's also for Americans. So we also ask help not only for Chinese diaspora community here, also need help from Americans, especially those university kids or other Americans help.
Yeah, last year the exhibition in Washington D.C. There was a professor from American University. He brought his undergraduate, graduate classes altogether, like more than 30. That was, to me, the best crowd we want. And actually, recently, I've been approached by a high school AP comparative politics teacher. He wants to bring his class here. So that's the kind of group we really want.
Okay, any other question?
Thank you.
Thank you. I'm Tomoya from TV Tokyo. I also want to ask about donation, money. So you mentioned over $500,000 donation so far. So how long does it take to make this amount of money, and who donates this project? Chinese people who live in outside China, or?
From beginning, we have a preparation organization consist of former students, survivors, witnesses. We raised like $70,000 at the beginning, and then we put some announcement. Then we start to collect the money from the normal people. There are a lot of people donate. Some of them just donate like $89.64. Not any fund from institute, but all from individuals. And we finished the first stage, $500,000 in 8 months.
To follow up, what's your goal for fundraising to have a permanent museum?
My goal is 20 million.
1 million.
He's
Okay.
Yeah.
So I think you need to get it out. So
Yeah, we need, in the end, if we put something out there, the landlord may consider it something different from our lease. So we are always facing that kind of situation unless we are the landowner. And I believe that 20 million, that's the minimum to become a landowner in Manhattan. That's why I see.
So your purpose is in Manhattan, your location?
Yes, we will have to be in Manhattan, before China becomes free.
Thank you.
Any other questions?
Thank you.
No? Okay, that's it. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
今日直播到此為止啦。多謝大家收睇啊！因為我諗我哋而家係凌晨嘅時間，係啊。其實我想訪問一個朋友，一陣間再睇下點先啊。好啊，多謝大家收睇。咁我哋聽日咧就預告下，聽日咧佢就有一個 opening 啦。咁我到時再同大家做呢個直播啦。好啊，多謝大家收睇，拜拜。